guys? Welcome back to the podcast today. And we are in St. Mary's, Georgia. We are not in the normal podcast studio at home in Dallas. We are here in St. Mary's, Georgia, one of the most picturesque, beautiful, and historic towns in America. And the diving here is just as unique as the culture. And I'm really excited to have some special guests today. We have Molly Silver from Molly's Old South Tours with us, and she's going to give us some information on why this is such a special town. Welcome, Molly.
Thanks for having me, Rich.
So how long have you been studying the culture here in St. Mary's?
It's been about 5 years. So I basically moved here with the pandemic, and so everything was shut down. But I saw this adorable town with these historic buildings and realized there had to be something behind them. So I started looking into the history, realized nobody was really giving any tours here. And so, a few years ago, I just started giving tours, and it's kind of blown up since then.
Very cool. You know, I run into people and they ask me how long we've been here. And I'll tell them a week or 4 days. And they say, well, have you bought a house yet? Have you decided to move? So I guess that's a common thing here is you can't get away.
That is true. You hear many stories of people coming just to visit and they end up never leaving.
I completely get why. Tell us a little bit about the history. How was the town founded and what made it significant?
Mm-hmm. Well, it was founded back in 1788. The few settlers who were in this area realized that the St. Mary's River, where y'all go diving and find such cool things, is a great place to have a port town because it's a deep water river. Ships can get access to it from all over the world. So the St. Mary's River was a great place to found a city. It was also for protection as well. So back in the late 1700s, Florida was Spanish territory, and so the locals here were terrified that the Spanish would attack them, which they did often. So the locals thought, strength in numbers, let's band together here to protect ourselves against the Spanish to the south. So a couple of different reasons why St. Mary's was a good place to found a city.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. It's really beautiful. So there's a lot of commerce that took place here back in the day.
Lots.
And what is modern day St. Mary? What is it known for?
I would say Cumberland Island. St. Mary's is called the gateway to Cumberland Island. So you really have to pass through St. Mary's to get to the Cumberland Island National Seashore that has the wild horses that everybody loves to see. Great history out there as well, too.
Okay, and you do tours out there?
Yes, we offer walking tours around the Dungeness area where the famous mansion ruins are that the Carnegies built about 100 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's where the horses hang out as well. And this time of year, in the spring, summer, the foals are being born. So it's a really cool time of year to go out there and see the little families that are being formed.
That's amazing. We passed by yesterday and we were looking out on the beach. There were some horses running around. Mm-hmm. Are they Mustangs or what is know what type of horses?
They're a little bit of everything. Scientists call them Heinz horses, 57 different varieties, because a lot of different kinds have been bred over the years, especially by the Carnegies when they came in the late 1800s. So they wanted to strengthen the local herd, and so they brought in horses from all over. So Tennessee Walkers, there are some Western Mustangs, but they even bought a white stallion from the stud farm of the Russian Tsar. So there's horse royalty on the island as well.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So you've got the Cumberland Island, and then what else what kind of tours are you running besides that?
So we offer a few different itineraries in St. Mary's. Our most popular one is our Murder, Mayhem, and Martinis tour. That's where we talk about real murder and just general chaos that occurred in St. Mary's, and then we go to the bar afterwards for happy hour price drinks. So obviously that one's pretty popular.
I've noticed on Netflix there's lots of murder mysteries these days. So if you guys are fans of that, I guess this is the place to come.
Yes, more than you would think.
So you have a website, is that correct? It's
yes.
Let's see here,
Molly'sOldSouth.com.
Molly'sOldSouth.com. Mm-hmm. And that's the best way to reach out and get one of the tours. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. Uh-huh.
Excellent. So I've got to tell you, you could just drive around and marvel at everything in the town. But hearing the stories behind it would be a much better way to appreciate it, I'm sure.
Obviously, I agree with you.
So what's your favorite thing you found in St. Mary's in the 5 years you've been here?
In terms of stories or?
Sure, yeah. What's the best story?
Well, the best story is probably the horse in the bell tower of a church in downtown. So our First Presbyterian Church, the oldest church in St. Mary's, there's a story from the early 1800s where the bell of the church is ringing, and everybody comes running up to find that there's a horse in their bell tower. They actually believe that it was a smuggler who put the horse in that bell tower to distract the locals so he could unload his illegal cargo. So that's one of the best stories, but there are so many good stories like that here in St. Mary's. Aaron Burr, the killer of Alexander Hamilton in the duel, came to St. Mary's. We have an assassination plot in St. Mary's, so lots of different really cool stories.
Very neat. So there's a lot to be learned about the history of St. Mary's.
Lots. Yes.
Excellent. You know, we've got Chris Whitlock here also from Wreckreation Scuba. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Rich. How we doing?
We go back a long ways. This is a good friend of mine.
We definitely do.
They provide hospitality unlike any place in the country. You know, the Southern hospitality is truly alive and well here. Now, we've been looking at some history this week, haven't we? A little bit further back, though.
Yep. A lot of stuff up the river and stuff on the bottom of the river.
So we've been what brought us out here is looking for shark's teeth, and these shark's teeth they're renowned here because they have a little bit better color to them, kind of a blue color. Is that what they're known for?
Yeah, we've got a lot of large teeth as well. The blue color on the teeth are phenomenal, and when you talk about just a really dark blue color like you'd see on a pistol or something,
right?
And the quality of the teeth that are here.
So it's a beautiful day when you go out tooth hunting, because you go out in your boat. He's got a great boat. We go out the river, and the river just winds back and forth on itself through. I guess you call it swamp. Is that what you call it?
Well, it does come out of the swamp, but there's not a lot of development on the river. So it's like going back. I literally say we're going back in time as we're heading up the river. You know, it's just beautiful to me because all the history, and that's why Molly's, teaming up with me here so we can talk about the history of the St. Mary's River, because it's just not being told.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing history here. It's for people who don't know where St. Mary's is. It's right on the border of Florida and Georgia. So when we're diving, I'm always trying to figure out from the way it winds. I'm always asking Chris, all right, which side is Georgia and which is Florida? It's hard to tell sometimes.
It is.
So the river's winding all over the place, and that's kind of what makes it great for catching teeth, right? Because as the bends will slow it down, and
right, yeah. Well, the bends, the current runs faster in the curves, and that creates eddies inside, and usually that's a good place to collect the teeth. The current swirls around, and the teeth that are on the bottom collect in these specific areas. So that's what we try to locate, are these areas.
So we've gone a few miles up the river. What happens? How far does the river go? Does it just keep going?
Well, it keeps running all the way into the Okefenokee Swamp, and that's what feeds the river. And that's why the water's so dark here, unlike anywhere else, is because the Okefenokee's got all this compost every day, and it keeps breaking stuff down. So all that tannic runs down the river, and
it's more like tea or coffee. It's not. Yeah. You think of, like, I know the divers in Texas, we have really dirty lakes, right? Because they're fed by creeks and they're full of mud, but the water's clean. It's just it's
just dark. It's like it's literally like tea.
Yeah.
When you first go down, the first few feet in the water, you can look up and see the sun, and the water's red.
Right.
And then you go down, another 2 feet, and it's completely dark until you get to the bottom, and then it's clear again because your light's reflecting off of the sand on the bottom.
Oh. So, Molly, what are some features of the river, maybe upriver some?
Well, some good stories upriver at Traders Hill, which is several miles up the river. There's one story of a duel there We don't really know why they fought the duel, but somebody ended up getting killed in that duel in 1819. But another really good story is Native Americans were living in this area in the late 1700s. This was the Creek. And there was a trading post at Traders Hill up the river, and a founder of St. Mary's ran this trading post there. Well, one day, 25 Native Americans came into his trading post and brutally murdered this St. Mary's founder. And then they went to his nearby house where his wife and 3-year-old son and newborn baby were. They didn't touch the kids, but they took his wife and they bound her hands in buckskin cords and set her by the St. Mary's River. And then they sicked their hungry dogs on her.
Oh, my gosh.
She managed to survive all of this, and then she ran 18 miles to the nearest fort to let the soldiers there know what had happened to her and to her husband. So the soldiers sent out a search party looking for these Native Americans, but they never found them. So this is just one of the stories that tells you what a terrifying place the St. Mary's area and the St. Mary's River were at this time around the founding of St. Mary's.
Wow. That was in the
late 1700s. So around the time of the founding of St. Mary's. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's, so Spanish attacks, Native American attacks. During the War of 1812, we were attacked by the British. So, yeah, lots of action in this area, partly because it was, this was an international border between the United States and Spanish Florida.
Right.
So, yeah, scary place.
Wow. Murder, mayhem, just like you said.
Yes.
Any ghost stories and stuff like that?
Oh, we got a lot of ghost stories, yeah. So every October around Halloween, we have our Haunted History Tour.
Okay.
And so that's a very popular event. People come from all over to learn the ghost stories of St. Mary's. So Orange Hall, it's one of our most famous historic buildings in downtown. If for people who are in tune with that kind of thing, you can see a little girl in the top middle window at Orange Hall. We believe she died in there somehow. We don't know how.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to have nightmares tonight.
Well,
That's exciting. So you have your Halloween tour, you have a haunted tour, then you've got ongoing tours. This is Molly Silver with Molly's Old South. So we'll have her website posted on at the end, so look for it. And we really appreciate your coming and sharing some of your information. I'm going to do a tour with you next time. We missed out this time, but it was really nice to meet you.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks so much, Rich. Thank you.
All right, stick around, and Chris and I are going to get a little more into the diving aspect of it, but Molly gave us some great stories, and we'll be back with some more. Hey, guys, welcome back. Boy, we've got so many folks in town to talk to. We got just this whole collective of talent here in St. Mary's, and we've got Ashley joining us today. I met her when she was very young. Were you even 18 then?
I was 18.
18 in Cayman Islands.
Yes.
And it's been great watching you grow up. How many years has that been now? Like 6 years, something like that?
5.
5 years. And in that time, you've gone to college and you got a degree in
Coastal ecology.
Coastal ecology. So explain that for us.
So I wanted to do something like marine biology, but I decided to do coastal ecology because it's a broader degree field. It talks about all different things with the coast, not just what's in the ocean or anything like that. It just talks about the ocean, the estuaries, the river, just like we were in this past weekend. So it's a really, really cool field.
You know a lot about the river, right?
I know a little bit, yeah.
You've pretty much been raised on it. You're a water baby.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you should see her dive. She has got some mad skills. I was appreciating them yesterday. We dove on the barge, and you were just like trimmed out perfect. She's snapping pictures. I'm watching all these pictures, and she doesn't even move. Usually when you put a camera in my hands, my buoyancy's gone. But you looked great down there diving, and you were spotting stuff like this is offshore, about 8 miles. We were on was it a barge? tugboat, or were
we
they
were
both
on a
barges?
barge, and then we also did a tugboat.
Okay. And tell us what we saw, because I've never seen one before.
So one of the first things that I saw when I went down to tie in the anchor, and I was like, okay, I got to make sure that they see this, is a Gulf frogfish. It's a really, really cool fish. It has like a flat head and like gnarly teeth and like little tassels coming off of its chin area. But I saw so many of those. Another thing we saw is some nudibranchs.
Oh,
which
yeah,
those
they were
are
awesome.
I freak out when I see those. I love those things. But yesterday I saw the most that I had ever seen before. I saw around 8 of them.
And they're big.
Yeah, there was one that was like a solid like 3-4 inches.
Nudibranch are really colorful. They're kind of like, I guess, in the slug family.
Yep, they're a type of sea slug, and there's hundreds of different species of them. So
There's people that specialize just in taking photos of nudibranch, but these were, I don't know what they're called, but they're the blue and yellow, and they have like a crown on top of them. It's like rhinoceri or something they
yeah,
call
I believe
the top.
that's what they're called.
They have these like little horns, and some look like longhorns, and some look like an antenna from outer space, and this one looked like a crown. I don't know, there's probably about 8 little things coming up in a circle, and just beautiful.
Yeah, it was really, really cool to see those. I always get excited when I see those. So
Yeah, the diving here offshore is really, it's criminally underrepresented. The diving was amazing. I was expecting to see cool stuff, but I thought I was in the Caribbean. It was great diving. You guys have lots of wrecks here, right?
oh yeah.
So we just scratched the surface. We didn't even go very far out. We just hit like the closest end, which were these the wreck and the tug. So you've got artificial reefs out here.
Yeah, we've got the largest artificial reef system on the entire east coast of the United States. The Department of Natural Resources have been making reefs here since 1972.
Wow.
So we've got everything from concrete rubble, wharf rubble from the original base here. We've got New York subway cars, M60 battle tanks, airplanes, landing craft, Japanese research vessels, dry docks, Liberty ships. Did I say New York subway cars?
Yeah.
We've already got that. But we also have just basic stuff like sailboats and such that we get from the local boat yards that they donate. So the DNR has been really gracious in trying to build fish havens here for us.
So if there weren't the wrecks and the artificial reefs, it would just be pretty much sand.
Well, not really. We got some phenomenal reef here as well. We've got a reef system that starts at 12 miles offshore. Okay. And then we've got another reef system about 20 miles offshore, and then we've got one at 40 miles. Not to mention we've got Gray's Reef National Marine Sanctuary here just up the coast. So we're super rich in diving, and the best part is it's super healthy because it's got no pressure.
Right.
We have some fishermen, but we don't have the pressure like the Keys, where you've got so many thousands of people showing up every day to dive. So everything on the bottom is pristine.
Yeah, we saw one boat yesterday, and the clarity. I mean, it was maybe 60-foot visibility, something like
somewhere
that.
50 to 60 foot yesterday.
But when you get down on the wreck, I mean, it doesn't make a difference whether it's 60 or 200 foot. It was really clear, colorful. We got some great video footage. Hopefully, we'll be able to put some of that in. I was blown away. I would love to be able to dive this all the time.
What I tell people is our limiting factor on visibility is the fish count. Because you can be down there and it's crystal clear and you can see, and then all of a sudden it goes completely black and you've got to turn on a light. And the reason why is the fish. There's so many fish that they just come over the top of you, and it shuts off the light. It's like somebody walking in a room and somebody turning the switch off, and it goes dark over the top of you.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was hovering over one of the, I think it was on the second dive, and there was a bait ball of small fish. I love the way they change colors when they change directions. They like flash in the light. And then some about twice the size fish, I'm not sure what they were, came in, and then they were chasing those around, and pretty soon it becomes like almost a tornado. And then they passed on, and then the spade fish came, and they're big fish, and
they school a lot. Yeah.
Oh, and they just go every which direction. It looked like dog fighting or something. It was really awesome.
We have to be careful with that, because if you get in the middle of the school, because they will literally surround you.
Yeah.
And then you're in the middle of the school, and then you've got these 6-foot-long barracuda darting in to go for fish, and you're in the middle of it. So we caution people sometimes when they get in the middle of those to try to get to the bottom so they don't get hit by the incoming fish.
Right.
It's an amazing sight. And when I take people that have never seen fish like that before, I've seen people cry underwater because it's something they've never seen. And I've dove all over the Caribbean. I've been diving since '91. And I think the diving here is special just because of the quality of the fish, the quantity of the fish, and the size of the fish. I've never seen fish as big anywhere else as I've seen here.
Right. I love the fact that we get to see schooling fish, because it's rarer and rarer that you see that abundance of fish in one place. And I think due to overfishing or conditions, but I mean, you can tell it's really healthy out there because they're huge schools.
It is. And so as a captain, I was arguing the fact that they were trying to put a moratorium on the red snapper here, because they're like, there's no red snapper in the ocean. And I'm like, well, obviously you haven't been on my boat. So I would take them and say, hey, look at all these fish. And they agreed, yes, you guys have an amazing amount of big fish here, but they're not everywhere else. So what they've done is they've kind of protected the waters here so they can expand out and try to repopulate the surrounding areas.
Wow.
Which obviously is good for us, for divers, because it, as you saw yesterday. And I've been telling you for years, man, you got to get offshore with me, because it's amazing. People always go, well, where do you dive here in Georgia? And I'm like, well, it's right off the coast. And they're like, isn't that dark water? And I'm like, well, it's not dark all the way out,
No, it was really clear. It was easy diving.
Easy diving, yeah.
I don't know if the conditions are like that pretty regularly, but the seas were flat. Very little current, just enough.
Yeah. Well, we all owe that to the Creator, I guess, right? Because we said a prayer before we went out, and we got it right.
Yeah.
He gave us good seas, so and we got back home. So we got to thank Him for that.
It was great. So, I'm surprised that this isn't like on everybody's list of dive spots, because the average diver probably likes to go to the Caribbean, do real easy diving. Kind of brainless, just go and relax and have fun. But there's a lot of you out there that want to do the next thing, the next step, something to challenge yourself as a diver, because the divers that are always progressing, they want to experience everything. And I think doing the river dives, that's the perfect next step for a lot of people, because it's not dangerous. The way you're running it, it's very safe, very controlled, but it is definitely challenging.
Oh, absolutely. That's what's so great here, is if you want to come here and you're used to the open water environment, that's great. We've got open water and we can get you offshore. Or if you're not used to going offshore, just 2 hours south, we've got springs that you can dive. But then we've got offshore, right? We've got 99 miles of coast here that we can explore. But like you were just saying, if you want to take the next step, let's take you to the river, okay, and give you an opportunity to pick out, you guys found some 5.5-inch teeth, some 6-inch teeth, some big vertebra, some whale teeth, some stuff that you can put on your desk and look at every day when you're working and go, man, I wish I was back there.
So in scuba diving, we usually don't touch anything,
Right.
and we don't take anything. It's take pictures and leave bubbles. But this is a different situation. In the river, the teeth they're constantly being filtered out of the swamp and kind of rolling down the river. And the way the river changes direction with the tides, it kind of helps, I guess, agitate it and get them out. So these incredible, beautiful teeth, they would just be lost.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's not like we're going to run out of them. We've been diving the river here for 20 years, and we just went and did it again, right?
Right.
So it's not like you're going to show up and just get skunked. There's going to be teeth.
Yeah, so if you ever wanted to have a souvenir from diving, this is the place to do it responsibly, safely, and it's a whole lot of fun. You know, you get down there, and we had some big blue lights, about 4,000 lumen.
Right, yep.
And we're laying on the ground, and the way I describe it, it's kind of like going out on a country road, Caliche Rock Road, and that's what you're looking for is the rock and the gravel. And we're laying down on it, crawling, looking for shapes. And it's when you find one, it's so exciting. I mean, it's like hitting the jackpot in Vegas or something like that.
Literally, it's like if you've ever gambled at all in Vegas, and even if you're playing a one-arm bandit, you know, you drop that coin in, and you're pulling that handle, and you're just waiting for the rollers to quit rolling, right?
Right.
And that's the same way when you're on the river. It's every foot you move, it's like, what, is this it? Is this the big one? And then when you'll see a straight line, right?
Right.
And you'll go, ooh. You'll get super excited about this straight line, or you'll see a point, and you'll go, ooh, a point, you know, and then you start to fan and undig that, and you're like, there it is, you know. And just like yesterday, you said something about, you know, I got only a little bit of air left. I'm going to move just this one more time. And there it was, right? You came up with the tooth in your hand. It's so exciting for me too, as a captain. Because I've experienced it, and it's great for me to be able to take groups like you guys out there and share that and the excitement. I love it when people come on the boat and they're like, don't lose my bag. Here's my bag. Be careful. It's got teeth in it. And then it's like laying the teeth out right on the engine cover there. And they're just going through them. And it's literally like seeing a 5-year-old's face at Christmas morning, you know?
That's the best. You come out of the dive, and everybody's asking, did you find anything? Did you find anything before you even get out of the water? And then the best thing to do is just to downplay it. And then when you get out, and then you open your bag, and you start spilling the bag out, and then the big teeth fall out, everybody's like, oh, whoa, you know, and it's fun.
I'll tell you, man, you're the master at that, because everybody else on the boat couldn't contain it. But you get on the boat and you're just like, no, man, I didn't find anything. Found a couple of bones. Oh, except for this. Wait, you know, and then we're even done going through your bag, and then you go, oh, wait a minute, what's this in my sleeve? And then another a tooth falls out, and then, oh, wait a minute, what's this down in the wetsuit? And you reach down in the top and pull another tooth out. I'm like, man, you're the jokester.
Well, that was last. It was in 2020. My bag had big holes in it, and I found a bunch of smaller teeth, and I was scared to put them in. I didn't want them to fall through the holes, so I remember I was putting them down my wetsuit, and I completely forgot about them until I was taking my wetsuit off, and then
teeth are falling out. Yeah, the teeth are falling out on the deck of the boat. Oh, forgot about that one. I remember the one time you had pulled it all the way down to your waist, right? And then it's like we thought you were done, but you weren't. And you went to scratch or something. You're like, wait a minute.
Stuck on my side.
Here's one more. You know? So good times, man.
Oh, it's fun. And you never know what you're going to find down there, because you've got the Megalodon teeth, which everybody's looking for the big teeth.
Right.
But the Mako teeth are awesome.
Well, the Mako teeth and the white teeth are, what's so really nice about those is because they're really preserved, because they have the opportunity to get down deeper and get protected when the sand gets over the top of them. So they don't have all the abrasion, and they're always usually in phenomenal shape. Like they just fell out of the shark's mouth, you would think.
Right.
No barnacles on top of them. They've got magnificent color, and so they always tend to get buried. So once you get into that pocket or that hole, and you start digging, you're finding teeth that are absolutely pristine.
Right. So we're not very good at it. We're rookies. This is my 4th time. I found a couple teeth this time. Some days you find lots of teeth, some days you don't. But I remember it was in December last time we were here, and we weren't finding anything, and we were like, man, the teeth are picked over. They've been all found, and there was a guy with us. His name was Eric, and
Yep.
he came up with probably 50 teeth on every dive, and we're up there, cussing and saying there's no teeth here. And he came up one time. He came up, and you're downriver, so you're supposed to give a big okay so that we can see you. And he wasn't signaling. His head was just barely above water.
Yeah, I'm freaking out thinking that he's entangled or he's got he's got something wrong with him.
Something wrong. He was on a rebreather. We didn't know what was going on. And then we get closer, and then Chris was like, "Oh, that son of a gun! I know what's going on." And we pull up, and it looked like he was holding a drum set.
Right.
He had giant vertebrae that were the size of drums in his arm, and then he had the bag attached to him, loaded. I think there was like 75 teeth on there, and he found like a pufferfish jaw and like everything from tiny stuff to big stuff. And mammoth teeth, mastodon teeth.
Yeah, we find mammoth teeth, mastodon teeth, tusks.
Yeah.
That same guy has found a complete tusk.
Right.
And that's actually how he ended up with the rebreather. Somebody wanted the tusk more than him because it was in such great shape. So he bought a rebreather with it so he could stay down and find more teeth.
Oh, my goodness.
But yeah, it's amazing. And it's a skill set. It's literally, you can tell the difference between the people who dive in the river and get good at it and the people that do it occasionally.
Sure.
And, there's teeth for both. Okay. So there's people that do it professionally, and those people score well because they're here to find. But the people that do it recreationally, that don't have it perfected that skill set, they're still going to find teeth, as you guys found out. You had people on this trip that have never been in the river before, and they found teeth.
Sure.
Well,
I remember we had a group that came with us the first time, and it was supposed to be a ladies' trip to Caymans, and their trip canceled because of COVID. So they came with us mainly to hang out and see the town because they heard the town was beautiful. They were doing 1 day of diving with us, so that was it. And they hit the bottom of the line, and they found a big tooth right off the anchor. And another one found a huge vertebra, and it was on. They dove all week long and had a blast doing it.
Instead of doing the 1 day, they decided, well, maybe we'll just hang out. This is kind of cool, And it was an all chicks trip, and they did amazing.
They did really well.
Amazing. And I'll tell you, literally, when you have novice divers, the women tend to do way better than the men. And the reason for that, I think, is because they're more patient. They're more patient, and they've got an eye for it. They're looking for the diamonds anyway, right?
Right.
So they find those diamonds in the rough.
Well, Jen was out there, and she proved to be the winner this week.
Oh man, she stomped on you guys. She was, and she found all the big teeth too.
All the big teeth.
And there's
big teeth, like 6 of them, I believe.
Yeah. Did you see the 3 though? The 3 that are perfect. The serrations are perfect. The tips are perfect. The color's great. All the enamels there. The burlays there. Those are going to be some real trophies.
Yeah, it's fun. She's already got them all cleaned up, and they look beautiful.
Well, send me some pictures.
Yeah. It was a great trip. On Saturday we had some folks that were diving with you that you had booked, and we did a little bit of an interview with him, but I don't think it came out. We were trying to do it out down by the river. It was the Meg Goddess, and also I believe his name was oh boy, I'm forgetting now. He found the tusk.
Yeah.
A couple months ago.
Right, up in Carolina, right? Was it in Carolina or down in Venice?
No, it was in Venice,
Okay, yeah.
which surprised me. But I've been following the Meg Goddess on Facebook for a while. She does a lot of art with Megalodon teeth themed and using the teeth. And it was really cool to find out that was her on the boat.
Right, yeah. And I'll have to say they killed it, man.
They did.
There was probably 200 teeth on the boat.
Wow.
That day, yeah.
And you could tell because they had their gear. They had helmets with lights on them, and I'm sure they both had screwdrivers in each hand and their bag ready to catch stuff, and who knows what else.
They had a young lady with them that she'd been doing it for a little while, but she found a tooth that was over 6 inches, and she was so excited because that one's going to go in the middle of her trophy case. That's her biggest tooth ever.
Yeah, that was an impressive tooth.
So when it's bigger than a dollar bill, lengthwise, it hangs over each end. That's the cool stuff.
Wow. Yeah. So there's avid divers that do this on a regular basis.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and then we've got people that come visit here, and what is there to do in St. Mary's? Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Come diving.
For sure. So if you guys want to try some of this diving, you need to reach out to recreationalscuba.com.
Wreckreation Scuba.
Wreckreationscuba.com. And you'll is Ashley going to be the one that answers it usually?
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to reach out to Ashley, and she's got all the info for that.
Chris has been banned from using computers because he tends to break them. So his talent is fixing boats and getting you on the teeth.
Yeah. I can drive the boat. I can fix the boat, but don't ask me to answer an email or send a text message.
Don't do that.
So tell us how we can follow what you're doing and what are the various modes of social media?
Yeah, so the best way right at the moment is Facebook. It's Wreckreation Scuba. Our logo is the profile picture. And another way, you can go on the website. We're still in the works of getting that perfected. There's also an Instagram as well. It's also Wreckreation Scuba. And same deal with that, just trying to get that one started and everything like that. But yeah, Facebook is the best way to get in touch. I check it almost every single day, so your response should be getting a response pretty quickly.
And can you tell them how to spell recreation? It's a little bit different.
It is a little different.
Yeah.
You guys grab a shirt over there. Maybe we can hold that up in front of the camera. Hey, we've never had Teehee on film before. Say hi, Teehee. He's the magic behind the cameras.
I don't know if you can see that.
So recreation, so a little pun on the wreck diving.
Little pun there, but it's WRECKREATION and then scuba.
Awesome. So we're going to be coming out here a couple times a year, that's for sure. We've had so much fun. Took a little while to get it back going again, but now that we're up and doing it, and you've got us offshore, so now we're really addicted to that.
Like you said, what we took you to yesterday was the stuff really close, really really convenient. We've got stuff that's deeper. We've got authentic wreck diving. We've got.
So if you were a true wreck diver wanting to challenge yourself, you've got some good wrecks for that also.
Yeah, we've got that. We've got wrecks we can penetrate. We've got 400-foot Liberty ships. We've got stuff in 70 feet of water. We've got stuff in 170 feet of water.
Awesome. You've got secret numbers too for stuff, I'm sure.
I'd like to say I do, but technology's kind of changing all the secret stuff, But I've got 20 years off the ocean, so I've got some pretty neat stuff.
And you guys are full support for TAC also.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we'll do any gas you want, trimix, nitrox, heliox. We can do whatever you'd like.
So all levels are welcome to come.
Oh, absolutely. We if you don't know how to dive, show up. We'll teach you how to swim if you'd like. We can teach you how to snorkel, and we can teach you all the way through instructor, or, if you want to dive 200 feet, we'll teach you how to do that too.
Awesome. Yeah, they're located right off one of the largest submarine bases in the world. And
Kings Bay Navy Base.
Yeah, they've got a pretty cool submarine museum here that you can go and check stuff out. And they've got, I guess that's an authentic submarine that's sitting out front of the base.
It's the tower. The tower is.
Okay.
The tower is actually off of an authentic submarine. Yes, sir.
I really wanted to run out there and jump on it. They told me I'd get arrested if I did that. So
actually, you won't.
I won't.
It's a photo op. Yes, sir.
Okay. Hey guys, we're gonna run over there, and I am gonna.
After
climb
that,
on
we
that
definitely
thing.
want to get a picture of you on it.
Yeah, I want to.
Now
pretend
you can't
like
climb up
Hunt
on
for
the
Red
tower.
October.
You can't climb on it, Rich. You can just.
I can put my hand on
You
it.
can touch it.
All right. Yeah. So, this is really an ideal location. I keep saying that, but I'm just blown away that people aren't talking about it all the time.
There's another famous diver that we won't mention his name.
I know you're talking about, yeah.
But he comes here annually for vacation, and he calls this place the last playground on the East Coast.
Wow.
Because it's so unthought of as a destination.
Right.
Yeah. So lot to find.
Well, if you guys are scared to come over here by yourselves, which you shouldn't be because they are very hospitable, but we will be coming back probably 2 to 3 times a year, so you can reach out to International Scuba. I think we're going to try to put a date on the calendar today before we leave.
Awesome.
To shoot for our next trip. And we'll mix it up, a little bit of wreck diving, a little bit of river diving. It's hard to give up the river, though, I just feel like...
It really is. And what the process should be, let's plan on going offshore. But if we have a bad weather day, we've always got the river, too, because we can always dive the river. So you never get a day blown out. I mean, we might have to shift gears, and instead of going left, we go right. But you don't have to worry about those big trips where you plan and you spend this airfare to go somewhere and then it's too rough to go, or the visibility's so bad you can't go.
Right.
You're going to get to dive when you show up here.
Well, we love it because we make a road trip. And I love getting my divers together and road tripping because we can go through, New Orleans, have a little fun.
Yep.
Eat some good food. Then we go through the springs, hit Vortex Springs.
The Panhandle.
Yeah, Panhandle, Destin, Florida, whatever. I mean, you could just make a 2-week trip out of it just going across the United States. And,
absolutely.
And the South, where everybody treats you really good. Amazing food.
We do have amazing food.
This year we didn't do it. You wanted to, but we had so much going on. But they do what's called a low country boil. And for Yankees that don't know what that is, or people from the West, they catch up this fresh shrimp and put it in there with some vegetables and some seasoning. And, it's good food.
Yeah. And then you put it on the big picnic table and put some newspaper down and just pour it out on top of the table. And people come and scoop it up and put it on their plate and eat it with their fingers.
Right.
Real homegrown cooking right there.
Yeah, so there's so many reasons to come here. The whole town is really inviting. We're going to give a shout out to the Wee Pub because a dive trip, isn't a dive trip without a stop at the local bar. And it's a fun little pub. The waitresses are very, very friendly. We tried to get them to come back to Texas with us, but didn't get it to happen this week. But just had a great time over there. You introduced us to him.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody in town knows Chris. He's the man.
Well,
yeah. Let's hit the. All right. So, Yeah, everybody seems to know you. So what is your kind of backstory? I know you've got serious repair skills and dive skills, and you've been doing it forever. How did you fall into scuba?
Well, I guess I moved here about 28 years ago. I was going to be here for 3 months. I was managing grocery stores, and I came here to fix the store and get it on the right track. And 3 months after I got here, I met my wife, and just like you said, with Molly, people get here and they just get attracted to it. And it's like a magnet. It's hard to get off of it once you get stuck to it. So we kind of stayed and built a family here. And we both love diving. I was a diver prior to getting here, and then Terry got certified when she was here. And our goal one day was to start a shop ourselves. And I was kind of evolved into working at a dive shop to get that experience ahead of time. And Bruce McDougall was managing the shop, and he approached me and said, "Hey, would you consider partnering up with me?" And so I did. We ended up buying the shop that we were running and I was teaching for. 3 years later, we built this facility, 6,000 square feet with the indoor pool. And that was history. From there on, we just kind of grew and decided we wanted to take training to the next level and not just be your average everyday run-of-the-mill shop. Because we weren't a destination, we had to grow our customers here. We had to develop our customers. And you don't do that in a town that's not known for diving unless you get repeat customers.
Right.
So it was up to us to build a quality product and let them do the advertising for us. And now we're 21 or 22 years deep into this business. Wow. And God's been good to us.
Well, I've seen you on the boat when we met in the Caymans, and you had a whole mix of divers, ages.
Yeah. We teach them all 8 to 80.
And they were, one thing in common was they were all really strong divers. And I remember, I can't think of her name right now, but a lady that I think she was a new diver. I still follow her on Facebook, but she had the most beautiful kick. She just looked so comfortable underwater. And when we got back on the boat, she said she was a new diver. I was just like blown away because she looked way more comfortable than any new diver should look. She was just great underwater, living it up, and all your staff is really well trained. They know what they're talking about. They don't, a lot of times people will try to inflate their knowledge and things like that. And your guys are just really comfortable with what they know, and they don't try to blow smoke up your butt or anything like that. I really appreciate that with your guys.
I have to tell you, I've been blessed with quality staff. I can drive a boat, and I've got the ability to teach a little bit, but I've had people around me that's been phenomenal. My wife, my family, Ashley, Matt, Bruce McDougall, Ken Ballantyne, his wife Vicky. I want to shout out to them. If it wasn't for them, last couple of years, I'd probably be sitting on a tractor right now and growing corn. But they came along and breathed some energy into me, some excitement. I taught Ken how to dive, and he was super excited to come on board and be a part of the facility. And we got some new energy in the shop. Matt, the manager of the shop's now doing his IDC to become an instructor. And what we try to do is we pick out people from the open water level. We see them in the pool, and we see that they've got They've got something special.
Right.
And we try to pull those people aside right then and say, hey, are you interested in possibly working here at the facility? Do you have a desire? And if you do, great. If you don't, you're just blessed with the skill, man, great. But I understand that none of this would happen if it wasn't for the people around me. It's definitely not me. I don't have the ability to do any of this. It's the people around me that
I think you attract those people. There's no doubt about it. I mean, when I first met you, you were suffering from had you just had back surgery? Or
no, but I had some major medical issues going on. I went on the trip just kind of to support and make sure things went well, but I could barely walk at that point. I was barely able to even get in the water and stand up. And then throughout the dives, I'd have to kind of stop, and people would pull me along, and I was like, for this great tech diver guy that teaches all this great form, I sure didn't present it then, but I was in a lot of pain. But I've been blessed.
You're very quiet, and we decided to come out here, and my friend's like, he was kind of quiet. He seems like he might be grumpy, It's like, yeah, but the whole staff is so nice. We'll have fun. And then we show up, and I saw this whole other side of you because you're like a 5-year-old on coffee, and you're trying to teach me how to holler and
Well, you got to get the southern thing down. Actually, I think I was the first one to ever take you and show you how to shoot a gun, huh?
Yeah, I'm from Texas. I never shot a gun, and
I was like, you haven't ever shot a gun?
I know.
Well,
and everybody on the boat had always told me, "Oh, they're all military, police, and we're gonna take you to shoot." And you were like, "No, we're going in 30 minutes after we get back."
And what did we do?
And we did. We went out to your farm, out to your property, and boy, I shot everything from a pistol to a rifle to a couple of shotguns, and then a little mini gun thing, that little machine gun, whatever.
Easy, Rich, easy. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. We try to make it. You're not a customer to me. You never have been a customer. You're my family. That's the way I treat people. I try to, like I said, we're a small community, and everybody here pours out the love when you show up, even at the Wee Pub.
Yeah.
You're not eating in a restaurant. You're eating at your family's house.
Right.
And that's the attraction here. Everybody makes it like your family. And, everybody that comes out here, it's important to me that my family comes back. And so I think that's the attraction to this whole town, the reason why we survived, our staff, because we're all family.
Yeah. Well, I love it. You guys will love it. You got to try it. I recommend getting it done this summer. Don't put it off. Come as soon as you can. We're going to put the information up, and we'll be coming back. We'll let you guys know when we're coming back. I hope you join us. We could, one time we came with a big group and we had a blast. So
we actually had 2 boats in the water, running 2 captains, and this year we got a bigger boat. And who knows?
Yeah, beautiful boat.
Who knows? Next year we're liable to have one of those Newtons sitting out there. Who knows?
That would be nice.
Oh, it would be.
All right. Well, hey, guys, thanks for putting up with us today. We went I don't know how long we went. We went a long time, but had a blast, talked to a lot of different people. This was a really special week, and I look forward to sharing it with you. And give us feedback on what you thought about it. And make sure you follow Wreckreation Scuba on Facebook and on Instagram, too. Did you say on Instagram? Excellent. All right. Well, thanks a lot, guys. We really appreciate everything you do for us.
We appreciate it, Rich, and we appreciate you guys coming and having us. All right?
Deal.
Look forward to the next trip.
Definitely. All right. We'll talk to you guys later.